it's actually at the stage where it is problematic if you are involved anything in the WNBA to not hate Caitlin Clark.
The next time, as the Indiana Fever were practicing jokes and bonding like sisters, everything blew up. A suspension has been imposed on Caitlin Clark. Before the WNBA could even catch its breath, Sophie Cunningham and 2 other names dropped to the ground like shattered glass. Both Lexi Hull and the Fever are departing the league. They're all 3 done. This is why nobody expected it. Before we begin this crazy story, please hit like, subscribe, and get ready for what might be the most moving Fever chapter ever written. Everything started out peacefully. Indianapolis is grieving. 1 email, 1 line. Caitlin Clark received a 1-game suspension. No background, no explanation, and no caution. The coaches were surprised. The players ceased to move. Supporters ceased to speak. Sophie Cunningham, however, remained steadfast. Slamming her locker, she growled, "If she's gone, I'm gone." As soon as Lexi heard that, she said it again.
Clark, you get access to things that you normally wouldn't get access to. And I think that's obvious for everybody to see. When you next to Caitlin Clark, it's gonna, instead of people looking at it like she's dimming everybody else, like she's turning up the lights on everybody else and making everybody else shine brighter. Sophie Cunningham is a prime example. What nobody really, like, people say, oh, she's a beautiful blonde, blah, blah, blah. She looked the same way last year. What nobody really checking for? You get her next to Caitlin Clark. Now she's on Good Morning America. Now she got RB.
I won't stay either. No one knew how solid their bond had grown since training camp. Even though nobody had realized how closely these 3 were connected, everyone realized today that it had started innocently. Caitlin jokes during warm-ups. On every team flight, Lexi delivers lunches. Sophie stepped in to keep Caitlin safe during a challenging practice. The golf trips, the photos that went viral, the late-night discussions about pressure, celebrity, and the constant noise came next. Despite their surprise character, this trio turned out to be completely impregnable. They were more than just teammates. They were not only co-workers. They were connected. Consequently, Caitlin did not consider her suspension as punishment. It looked like an assault. Additionally, families don't allow any one member handle such a circumstance by themselves. Alarms were going off within the Fever headquarters. The franchise will fail if Caitlin quits. If Sophie walks, they lose both their commander and their shooter. If Lexi walks, the chemistry suddenly vanishes. This trio was not merely popular. The culture is made up of them. Losing them would be catastrophic. The phones continued to ring. Emergency meetings were called. No one had the answers the coaches demanded. Make sure you hit subscribe and join the trip if you're a true WNBA fan that appreciates talent, passion, and relentless action. I will now return to the video.
This game and for her to do the same on your side.
Yeah, well, I remember last year when we were here, I was talking to Nelly about her shoes because obviously, like, in the basketball world, like, you don't, like, you wear the team uniform, like, it's your shoes that are the cool thing. So I was, like, asking her about her shoes, and she was like, oh, yeah, like, these are kind of basic. And then it's been cool to kind of watch over the course of the last year. She got to put in a lot of time to create her own PE and very unique to her and what she's passionate about in herself. And obviously somebody that's very, very deserving, and it's been at the top of the sport for a long time now. So I've played a few rounds with her even outside of here for some other stuff, and it's really fun to get to watch her do her thing up close. Like, talk about making it look easy. Like, it just is so easy for her, but at the same time, like, she's just a good person. Like, she's chill, she has fun with you out on the course. But yeah, her shoes are pretty cool. I'll make sure they get home.
But the 3 stars had already made their decision. Fans would recall that event for years. Silently, Sophie packed her belongings. Lexi folded Caitlin's jumper with shaking hands. Caitlin is staring at her sneakers, trying not to cry. No heartache, no cameras, no yelling. We're all suspended if they suspend you. Music. We won't let you go alone, Lexi. You two don't need to do this, Sophie and Caitlin. Sophie shook her head. We've already completed it. Lexi gave a weak smile. Together, we depart. The room was silent. A few minutes later, the news went viral on the internet. 3 stars are no longer present. The live commentators started to get scared. Astonished admirers flooded timelines. What's happening? The WNBA has ended. This is not possible. The league actively contacted agents and prepared responses in an effort to limit a story that was too large to handle. 3 players are leaving for one another. There had never been anything like this. There was no disagreement about this. The revolution was muffled. And there was something substantially larger in the distance. Project B is powerful, enigmatic, and offers deals for millions of dollars. Everything else than basketball is not addressed, including politics, wage constraints, and disputed suspensions. They apparently made one offer. Sophie arched her eyebrow and murmured, "You 3 will go together." Lexi froze. Caitlin said, "Together?" "Yes, together." For a gang that would never betray one another, the idea was quite tempting. The supporters were uneasy. They were impatient with music. They were furious. Thousands of individuals asked for answers. Caitlin has been placed on suspension. Why? Why throw Sophie away? Why would you shatter Lexi? Crowds gathered outside Gamebridge Fieldhouse chanted, "Bring them back. Fix this now. We want our 3. Inside, Fever's employees had to confront reality. Music. The roster is unrelated to this. This was the whole emotional breakdown of a franchise. Remember how you just lost these players?
Lose these players straight up. You don't get anything back for the players. They're gone. We didn't get anything for Temi, did we? No, exactly. Let's take a look at the list that I've concocted. Number 1, you gotta court Caitlin Clark. The General. Last year, she averaged 16.5 points per game over a 13-game period, 8.8 assists per game, 5 rebounds per game, 1.6 steals per game. She is the franchise. She is the captain. She is the leader. She is the soul. She is the sun of this solar system. And everything needs to be built around her, predicated around her. The pieces need to be put in place this year, unlike last year, to get the most out of Caitlin Clark's abilities. That means when free agency hits, you don't sign.
Together, the 3 of them sat in a peaceful chamber apart from the disturbance. They had strong emotions. Music. Music. Their hands were intertwined and their eyes were reading. "I don't want to go," Caitlin whispered, and Lexi Music replied softly. "But if they treat us like way, we can't stay." Sophie took a long breath to quiet herself. "We all stand together after that. One voice, one choice." Music. The room stopped moving. 3 heads nodded. The choice was made. Music. They went into the tube. In the middle is Caitlin. Lexi is on the right, while Sophie is on the left. Supporters let forth their cries. Music. Like a tornado, reporters descended onto the scene. In flashes, cameras exploded. None of the 3, however, faltered, halted, or changed direction. They embarked on an unknown journey together. After 3 stars, 1 connection, music, and 1 departure, the WNBA was in total disarray. The dramatic what-if plot highlights the power of loyalty and the depth of a connection. To participate, click like, subscribe, music, and leave a comment.